Okay. And we are ready to go.
All right.
Whew. Hey there, guys. I'm a bit nervous, as you can tell. This is actually our first time doing a live stream. Well, the Beyond the Bottom Line, I can see I'm eating all my words up now. A live stream, so nothing over here is going to be edited. It's all happening in real time right now. And today's actually kind of a special day. If you guys read the title, it is Empire Partner Foundation and American Society of South Africa collaboration today. And it's all in honor because of Black History Month. For those who don't know, it's a month which is kind of sad. It's
Very sad.
Very sad.
But there's two sides of every coin.
I mean, there is, but in my opinion, it is kind of sad. I feel like there should be more. It shouldn't even be a month. It should be like, every single day or something like that.
History is history. We shouldn't separate history from black, white, Asian, or any history. History is just history. The past is the past, and that's what we learn from. So we should learn from it all and enjoy it all.
Oh, no, that is definitely true. But anyways, so that's pretty much why we're doing this whole collaboration with them. And today I actually have some people from the United States actually in the studio and within the, I guess, Empire Partner Foundation ecosystem, as I like to call it. And today our first person is called Sidney Hall. Now, he has his own company called Get Stretched. They're a company based around stretching. That's all I'm going to leave it at, because I feel like if I go on, I am probably going to butcher it, and I don't really want to do that because I will feel very terrible the next day and even after the interview. So, Sidney, I'm going to head it over to you.
How you doing? My name is Sidney Hall. Yes, I am from the United States, but also spent, I guess, half my life in South Africa. I started coming to South Africa in 1994. It was my first visit in Soweto.
Also, just after apartheid.
Yeah, just after the inauguration of Nelson Mandela. I was here in December 1994, and obviously coming back year after year, and eventually ending up in 1998, kind of overextending my stay and getting stuck in and staying here until about 2009. Going back to America, living in LA for a while, and LA, Australia, and Japan through the years that I was away from South Africa, and coming back here and starting this company called Get Stretched. And Get Stretched is a facilitated stretch studio. We do active, passive PNF stretching, which gets your body right. We go through range of motion, we go through flexibility, everything that you're supposed to be doing, and you're not.
So before we get into the actual, I guess, depth of this interview, I just have some personal questions about Get Stretched. Mm-hmm. So I saw your guys' website. You guys are kind of like trying to compare, like, say how stretching is not, your guys Get Stretched. It's not like yoga. It's not like Pilates. So then what would you say it actually is then? Because in my mind, stretching is, well, what you do before running or what you do before weightlifting or even yoga and Pilates. So what actually is it then?
So stretching is gaining flexibility and mobility in your muscles and range of motion. So it's something that you're supposed to be doing before and after. What we do at Get Stretched is we do a active stretch, which is it's called a PNF stretch, And PNF stretching basically is an active stretching to actually not only build your range of motion and flexibility, but it also builds a little bit of muscle as well. We're a little bit different than your yoga and Pilates because we're not as extensive in terms of the exertion that you put in. You have a personal flexologist that actually takes you through the motions. So if I compare it to yoga, you have to take a shower after.
Yeah, I mean,
Pilates, you probably have to take a shower after.
I mean, I did yoga with my mom a couple of years ago. I thought it wasn't going to be that intense. I forgot what position it was. I somehow just broke into an immediate sweat.
And you're probably, you're working hard, you're breathing hard. With this form of stretching that we do at Get Stretched, you can come from the office, do a 25-minute session, and go right back to the office.
But can you come back from the office wearing your work clothes?
Same clothes, yeah, same clothes. Yeah.
Impressive.
We don't sweat in there. we as active as it is, it's very relaxing, and the flexologist is bringing you through the motions of the stretching.
So I want to move now into, like, I guess we covered all this of what Get Stretched is and who you are as a person, and a little bit about your story. Yeah. I think the part I really want to get into now is, well, do you know what the Beyond the Bottom Line is?
Beyond the Bottom Line is a podcast, right?
Yeah, but let me explain a bit more. So our idea is to try and help and encourage the youth to do more and create a better South Africa for tomorrow and for further generations. And we talk to people who have their own businesses, CEOs, and to show that CEOs are also people that do care about the little guy. I'm one of those people who always thought CEOs don't care about the little guy. After doing this series for like a little bit, I realized they actually do. So the idea behind it was to, I guess, show the youth that you guys do care, and also for you guys to inspire you as CEOs and founders to inspire the youth. So with that in mind now, how do you guys, I guess, get involved with inspiring the youth, either over here in South Africa or in South Africa or in America? I'm sorry, because do you stay in between both, or do you just permanently stay in South Africa now?
I do stay between both. I have several businesses. This is one of my primary businesses in South Africa, as well as film and TV production. And to your question, I come from that inspiration. I was a 19-year-old kid coming to South Africa, visiting South Africa, and had a wealth of people around me that inspired me. Being inspired me overseas, inspired me when I got to South Africa, inspired me in Soweto. So I come out of that. So, my whole journey in life is for the inspiration, is to show the youth that anything is possible if you put your mind and your heart to it and your passion, And stretching is something that is born out of a passion of mine, and also born out of mistakes that I've made in my life in terms of dealing with my body and mitigating injuries in my body. So it's born out of that, and it turned into a passion. And I followed that passion and ended up into, this company, Get Stretched. And this Get Stretched company allows, your youth to come in from these fields, these new fields that are being born out of fitness, flexology, personal trainers, a lot of these type of jobs are youth jobs, and we're allowing entrance into these type of new fields, flexology field. Who thought that you can go to a whole studio day after day and just get stretched and it be something that you needed and positive for your body? So we're creating these new things and these new attitudes towards fitness, towards your body, which now will bring the youth behind it and actually inspire them to move it forward.
So talking about being inspired and talking about the youth, so I kind of understand what you guys do now to actually help inspire the youth. I think what I also want to find out now from you as well, which kind of just sparked the question, is, so you stayed in South Africa, so you've been here since 1994, short,
I've
right?
been coming to South Africa since
coming.
So in 1994, I helped start a program called Step Africa, which was an exchange program with the Soweto Dance Theater, where we taught about 3,000 students a summer. So again, to answer your question, my whole life in South Africa comes from inspiring kids and working with kids and moving the youth along. So that's actually my experience in the first 6 years of my life in South Africa. That's what I was actually doing.
So coming from you as someone who is, I don't like using this word, but a foreigner, because it's, even though you do, I don't know, for some reason I just don't like the word foreigner used in any context, but it is a word we have to deal with it. But you being a foreigner to South Africa, and you've kind of, I guess, seen the ups and downs of this country, granted one of them being load shedding, which could hit us tonight, and I don't know when, but we're prepared for it at our best. Yeah, but besides that point, what do you think the future holds for South Africa? Do you think we could be more, well, we are becoming more innovative every year, but we're also getting lower in like education and unemployment. Our unemployment rate is skyrocketing each year. So you, from your professional standpoint and being a foreigner, how do you see or think South Africa can improve itself and its economy?
Well, I think it's going to take work. It's going to take the diligence of the community, of the South African community, the political community, the secular community, to come together and fight for that empowerment. At the end of the day, you don't get anything in life that you don't fight for.
That's true, yeah.
And I think that with the understanding that it's only a 30-year-old democracy, and things do take time, but also the time is now when you want it to be now. And I think that the future of anything comes from the youth, and I think the youth, it's the responsibility and the obligation of the youth to dig in and not be passive observers of what's going on in the country. I think it's the responsibility and obligation of the youth to be very active in what they want to see the country to be. Get out there and vote. be a part of the change. Be a part of the system. Be a part of what makes the decision and who makes the decisions.
Actually, speaking of that, you spoke about voting, and recently we just had our election. Well, we have an election for different areas. So we have, I think it was provincial elections. I'm not so sure. I need to read up on that again. But comparing South African elections to American elections, there are two different worlds. But do you ever think maybe South Africa could try and do something similar to the U.S., or do you think we should just stick to what we're doing currently with our own system?
Well, I think everyone has to develop their own system. I think you can take feelers from other places that have been successful, and this is not speaking on America solely. You can take feelers from other models that have been successful and try to kind of gauge what works and what doesn't work in building your democracy. But I think every democracy is unique to the place where the democracy is. So, South Africa is not America. America is not, Japan is not South Africa.
Not Australia as well.
South Africa is South Africa. I think that South Africans need to dig in and figure out what's best for them to move their democracy forward.
And I guess my final question for this interview, and again, thank you so much for coming on. But before we do,
I didn't know this was going to be very political.
Oh no, I am like that.
No,
but I always try to. So with my political stand,
No, we was talking about get stretched. We got to stretch the political system to make it fit for us.
We got to stretch out our economy. We got to stretch out everything.
We got to make it flexible.
Anyways, before we end, I just have one final, more of a request than anything. What inspirational thing do you have to say out there for the youth, be it South African youth, American, or even broad term, the worldwide youth?
Always remember that you are the future of what is to be, and you will decide on your own to be a passive or active participant in that. So the choice is yours. Choose wisely, choose diligently, but always remember, the choice is yours.
Sydney, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you very much.
Actually, I have one more question. It's a bit of a sports question since you are into sports. So the World Cup, the South Africa, not South Africa Rugby World Cup. Oh no, yeah, no, it was the South African Rugby World Cup. America did take place in the World Cup. Yeah. I just want to know, what did you think of their performance? Because as a South African, we kind of don't get offended by it, but we kind of laughed at the Americans and how they played.
Well, rugby is not a new game to Americans, but it's not a well-developed game to Americans. So I think, with anything, you have to take that, into consideration. It's like saying, okay, let's create an American football team in South Africa. It'll take years and years and years to develop, to get to the point where, you can compete at the top levels. And I think that's where American rugby is. I think the more that they dig in, the more that they take the development of rugby serious in America, then you'll see this. You'll start to see a change.
Well, Sydney, thank you so much for coming on, and thank you guys so much for watching. Actually, in the lounge, we have a little audience in our lounge offices over here, and for you guys watching. Let me put the camera on to you for you to say that again. Oh, do you want to say that again to what's up, colleague?
Audience?
And thank you guys for actually watching. If you guys do like this, let us know if we want to do live streams more, but we do have to have more events for that. But again, thank you guys so much. If you do like this live stream, I'm going to cut this into segments so it's more video friendly for you guys. But if you guys did like it, please leave a like, subscribe, and also share the video.
You put a like there for your boy.
Thank you so much, Sydney.
Thank you very much.
Okay, go scene one. 2. Testing 1 2 3 1 2 3. Hey there, guys, and welcome back for a second part of the interviews for tonight. As you guys do know, this is a collaboration between Empire Partner Foundation and American Society of South Africa. And sorry for before, you saw the screen kept on jumping. There's a bit of miscommunication, so I kept on jumping between the screens thinking we will go starting now, but now we are officially starting. And if I do make a mistake here, as you guys do know, live streams, if you make a mistake, it is on there. You can't really edit it in the moment. But that's why I like post-production and being an editor. But today, I am more interested in consulting. And I have a really good person to speak about consulting. But before I mention their name and their business, actually, let me mention the business first. It's Emergent Inquiry Consulting. And what they do is they do pretty much a bunch of different consultants, not just one type of consulting, which I find really nice. So they do ones in emerging economies with in regards to change management, leadership development, capacity building, and much, much more. And today I am here with Tiffany Green. By the way, I would just love to say I love that name.
Thank you.
I don't know why, it just sounds like, it just has a nice like roll off the tongue.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
So, Tiffany, before we do get in, just tell us a little bit more about yourself. And can I just say the abbreviated version, EIC, or would you prefer me to say the whole thing?
I'm totally fine with EIC.
So with EIC, and for those who don't know, I'm going to say that throughout the interview, it's Emergent Inquiry Consulting. Give a look on Google.
There you go.
So now that we're getting into it, can you just tell us a little bit about who you are as a person and about EIC?
Sure, no, happy to. So should I start on that rainy day I was born? I'm just joking.
I mean, if you can fit it all within 10 to 15 minutes.
So a little bit about me. So I am American, have been living in South Africa for about 5.5 years now with my husband and my 2 children. I came to South Africa for work, and so previous to me starting and launching Emergent Inquiry Consulting, I was working for the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation and was the head of HR for Africa, which is what brought me to Johannesburg. And you know, we fell in love with it, my family, and when we made the decision to stay permanently, I really wanted to start up my own consultancy firm. And it was one of those things that I had been wanting to do probably for the last 10 to 15 years, and just had never taken that leap, you know, to actually make it happen. And I think that through COVID, we all learned that
Sorry.
life is short.
Can I just ask you to move your mic a little bit closer?
Okay.
Yeah, they're saying that they can't hear you that side.
Can you hear me better now?
Because on my side, my levels are reading fine, but maybe it's on the TV, it's a bit different.
Okay. Perfect.
Anyways, I'm so sorry for interrupting you.
No worries. So I feel like during COVID, we all learned that life can be short and that we don't know what external impacts may come. And so it was an opportunity for me to do the thing that I was really passionate about, that I felt like would bring me joy. And so I made that decision when I ended my expat assignment at Gates Foundation. They had offered me a great role back in the US, and you know, I said thank you very much, but no thank you, and I'm gonna.
But South Africa was calling you.
Exactly. So and so then Emergent Inquiry Consulting was born.
I love hearing, so one of the reasons I always ask a question to everyone, because I just love hearing how people came to that point in their life, like, you know what, I want to start my own business.
Yeah.
And speak about consulting. I know there's a lot of consulting firms out there, but most of the time they just consult on one thing.
Yeah.
So why did you choose to consult on many things? Isn't that a bit like too much on your plate, or what, do you think you guys can handle it? I'm pretty sure. I assume you guys can.
Yeah. No, it's a great question. So Emergent Inquiry Consulting, we specialize in organization effectiveness and change management consulting, but specifically for organizations that have a presence or are looking to scale across emerging markets. We also have a focus on, most of our clients are social impact clients. So we work with a lot of philanthropies, a lot of nonprofits, corporate social responsibility arm of private sector. And it is a gamut of consulting that we do, right? It's everything from we need to figure out how to help our leadership team be stronger. We need to figure out how to be more diverse and global in the way that we operate. We need to figure out our org transformation and how we are supporting driving towards our strategy. And the reason that we have such a broad portfolio is because what we want to do is help create the space for organizations to really be able to grow in economies, offer employment opportunities in emerging markets, and really be able to give back. I know that for me, I feel very privileged simply because I was lucky about where I was born, who I was born to. And that shouldn't be a matter of luck, right? And so I want to be able to give that privilege back and help organizations to be able to operate more effectively and build that bridge between the global north and the global south.
Now, you were talking a lot about building up businesses,
Yeah.
other, like getting international levels. But I want to focus on what this, podcast or / interviews are really about is building up the youth. So how do you guys build up youth, and how do you guys encourage them to get involved more in consulting? Do you guys provide bursaries, courses, or do you guys also provide like mentorships to these kids or to the people in youth who want to get into the consulting industry?
Yeah, I think the two ways that we have in the about year and a half that we've been in existence. So one is we do quite a bit of volunteer work. And so, for example, we work in Deep Sloot right now and have done some volunteer work with an organization that supports youth coming out of matric with building up skills to be able to tutor younger youth, specifically around their ability to spell and also their ability to speak. And so I think part of it is giving back in terms of what does it look like to move from being a student to being a professional. And so being able to have those skills to do that. And so that's a skill set that my organization has that we normally offer at a cost, right, to organizations. How do you get your team to be more effective? But we also offer that from a volunteer perspective as well to youth organizations. I would say the second thing is really around capacity building. So a lot of the work that we do with organizations like Catholic Relief Services is capacity building and helping to train and develop youth and adults, honestly, around what does it look like to be an effective leader and to be an effective staff member to reach your success goals.
So coming around, well, my main question I want to ask right now is, so living in America and then living in South Africa the past 5 years,
Yeah.
what is the difference between the youth? Do you see them both have the same ambitions and goals, or is it a bit different? And with that in mind, how can we as a community and society help actually develop and grow both youths, either in America, South Africa, or globally, actually?
I think it's a really important question. And one of the reasons that I made the decision to stay in South Africa is because of the amazing ability of individuals across this continent, right? And a big percentage of those individuals are youth. And so when I look at that difference between the US and Africa, one of the biggest things that I see is that drive. And I really feel like on the continent of Africa, there's something about the youth where there is a drive to, we want to do something different. We want to make an impact. And so that's one of the reasons I started my consultancy firm here, so that we can work with youth that are coming out of college, that are going into university, that are trying to look for skills, that are going into these organizations. And so for me, that's where it starts. You have to have an interest and a want to, be able to make impact and to shift and change.
So speaking about shifting and changing and making an impact within youth, both locally and internationally.
Yeah.
I'm sorry about that.
No worries.
So I guess the only thing I want to really find out is more of a request really. What inspirational, I guess, statement or how would you inspire the youth?
That's a good question. How would I inspire the youth, or one inspirational statement? I would probably say, you can do all things, right? And to like find your joy. Because I think that sometimes we think we have to do something in particular because that's what we have experience in or that's what we have observed in our lives. But to actually really learn about what other opportunities are out there, other professions and industries, and, you know, go for what you want to do. And there's nothing that can hold you back. And you have great opportunities, such as the space we're in now, to be able to grow and develop yourself.
Sorry. Well, thank you so much for coming on. It was a pleasure talking to you, and I love hearing your story about, you know, consulting and you wanting to inspire the youth even more. And thank you guys so much for watching. And please do leave a like, subscribe, and follow us on all social media platforms. Do you have any final words?
Please take a look at Emergent Inquiry Consulting. .co, learn a little bit more about our work, and feel free to contact us.
Sorry. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for coming on.
Yes, thank you.
Hey there, guys, and welcome to the third live interview of this evening. Like I've been saying for this thing, it is live, so if I do mess up, I mess up. I can't edit it right now, but I will be able to edit it as in post-production. Now, me editing and graphic designing and stuff, for me, that is my type of art form. I love it. It makes me feel creative, even with 3D rendering. But today, I'm actually sitting with an actual artist. His name is Tabiso Dakamela. Am I correct in saying so?
That's right.
Thank you. I'm always afraid of butchering people's surname because I feel extremely bad. But why don't you tell us a little about yourself?
All right, so I'm an artist professionally for a decade now. Before that, I was really into academics. I think for me, I always just feel that academics kind of screwed me over. So after finishing high school, I got in a scholarship to study law or international relations in Cyprus.
So you, in a way, in Cyprus, you went to study law in Cyprus?
No, I was supposed to.
Oh,
so I was supposed to, but then that didn't happen. So I think that was a heartbreak for me, and that was the time when art actually called me.
I guess that's very similar to me because I want to go into like web design and developing,
Sure,
and then varsity kind of really didn't work out for me, and then I became a video editor and graphic designer.
Yeah, no.
Now, the main question I want to ask you right now is, I'm sorry, they're just asking you to speak into the mic.
Sure.
Okay,
Okay.
cool.
All right.
So the one thing I want to find out from you as an artist is, how do you get your community involved in your artwork or in the things you do for art?
Yeah. So one of the biggest and best tools that that our century has given us is social media. I think for me, it has proved to be a very efficient tool in terms of just ensuring that my work is out there and people are aware that I'm an artist, and also getting in studio. It's one of the things that sometimes we seldom think of how important it is, but it's actually very important for an artist to actually be in a studio and in a community where there's other artists and an environment where people can actually come and see art and view art and all that. So I think those two are the main resources that I've used to actually make sure that my work is out there. Yeah.
So the only reason I asked about the community question, because this podcast is actually all about community and youth, and encouraging the youth and getting CEOs, founders, or even artists now to speak about what what makes them do it and how they can actually inspire the youth.
Yeah.
So my follow-up question to that question, I know it's a bit of brain teasing if I'm getting confused myself, but is how does actually art help inspire the youth? Because look, I'm not gonna lie, you might hate me for this, I was never inspired by art growing up. I saw cars as art, but not like actual art pictures that inspired me. So in your opinion, how does art actually inspire youth to be more innovative and creative?
So my philosophy is, and this wasn't
Okay, cool. We are back. So sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. For those who don't know, for those who do know or don't know, what just happened was load shedding. And for our American audience today in-house, it's not the nicest thing, especially if you're recording or in a video editor. And it's just, all your work goes down the drain and you just don't know what to do. But luckily, we have everything on a backup and we can move forward. So the question we were on is, how do you think art inspires the youth and makes them more innovative and more creative?
So the first thing is that art itself is it's where the foundation of culture is. There can be no culture anywhere in this world without art. Artists are literally the authors of culture. So that's, by artists, I'm referring to creative across all disciplines and all boards.
It's like music, painting,
music,
drawing.
painting, writing. So people are are inspired by stories, and stories sort of push people to become something, or there's a certain narrative that people, live according to, or that they bend to. So artists are literally the authors of culture, and youth and culture are just two things that you cannot separate. You can divorce the two. So I think one of the things that, especially in my line of in my specialty, is that every child is born an artist. It's just, as we grow, we differentiate, and we break into different disciplines. But
I don't know if I can agree with that part.
Yeah.
That
Okay.
so I do agree. Everyone has like some bit of art.
yeah.
In them. But what I do believe instead is that you get people who are analytical, like very mathematical. They
Sure.
love maths. I guess that
Yeah.
could be their type of art.
Yeah.
But also,
Emil, I do apologize. We haven't really reconnected back on this side yet. So
oh no, it's okay. Like once you put it on the live stream, we'll just keep on going by itself. Or do you want me to stop?
I have no idea when it stopped or anything. How about just can you, if it's how many questions have since the load shedding started?
It's been two, and this is the third one, and we got one more.
All right. Let's see. Okay. How about do you want to just backtrack just two more questions? If it's not a problem.
Yeah, sure. No,
So start the
Just keep the live angle that's going on in the beginning,
yeah.
and then
wait, so start the interview again.
not the whole interview.
No, because we did two questions.
Yeah.
So question one, question two.
I think it's best to just restart the whole interview, right?
Sure.
I do apologize about that. So when it's load shedding, our entire
So I'll-
table system was
so-
front cut.
Okay.
I'll go to scene one, and then you just let me know when to go again.
I'll give you the go ahead, right?
Cool.
Cool, sweet, thanks.
All right.
For those watching live right now, we had a bit of a technical issue, so we're gonna have to start the interview again. Hey there, guys, and welcome back for a take two of this interview. I know a lot of you who are probably watching at home or on the couch like, wait, why? We had load shedding. There's a bit of a technical issue, but we are back now. So I'm just going to restart the interview again. And today I am with, we are. Yeah. I'm so sorry about that.
No, it's all right. Load shedding it.
Load shedding, yeah. But today, for those who can't really see him right now, you guys are currently seeing me. That mysterious voice, you're probably wondering who it is. So I like to say that I am more of a creative person when it comes to me doing my graphic designing, video editing, and 3D rendering. But today we have an actual artist in the building. His name is Tabiso Dakamela.
Yeah,
I'm so sorry I butchered. I feel bad every time I butcher names.
it happens.
Before we get in, I just wanted to find out more about you and what art you actually do.
So I paint. I also write. I'm a creative writer as well. I paint, I draw, I sketch, and just recently I've started sculpting a bit. So I'd say I'm a multidisciplinary artist.
Jack of all trades in the art field.
More or less, yeah.
So the one thing I've always wanted to know from artists is, how do you guys involve the community in your art? Because I know a lot of artists will like to go back to the community and, you know, donate a painting to them, or actually sometimes bold, but also paint a mural to bring the community together. So how do you do that?
To be more specific, I have done, contributions of, I've contributed paintings to institutions that maybe like is a way of charity or community work. But what we've done mostly is we involve artists. We bring up some new, emerging or people that, we can see there's talent, but they probably don't have material to work with. They don't have space to work with. And so we bring those into our studio to work with. And what we've just newly founded as DK's Project House. So it's really like a space where artists can express themselves in whether music, poetry, and mostly, however, in painting and drawing. So that's one of the best things that we've done that towards an initiative of moving towards community building.
So the other thing I want to know from artists is, I fully understand the whole idea of community building and everything. Yeah. But what I want to know is, how do you guys actually inspire the youth? Now, I'm not trying to throw shots at anything. Sure. It's just when I was younger, I never really got inspired by art. I just never really got inspired by art. But so how do you guys actually inspire the youth to, I guess, with your art?
Yeah. So first, times have changed. Back in the day...
Sorry, they're just asking you to speak a bit louder.
All right. So times have changed. Back in the day, it was very difficult for, to just at least think that art could be something that you can do as a profession.
Yeah.
Because the narrative was, you just need to go to school, do this and that. But now the fact that people are able to start businesses, and now art is now recognized even here in Africa as well as something that is an investment. So it has become relatively easier, and more doors have opened for people that are creatives to bravely walk that path and actually express themselves and, showcase their talent. And I think that the more you look at people that have walked the path before you, and you have similar aspirations and attributes, it becomes relatively easier. And that is why we're bringing artists that we think that, okay, this person is potential, and if they have the spirit to do it, then let's work with them. And so that's how we've inspired the youth, and that's how we got inspiration ourselves. That's why we're here.
So what I'm hearing or gathering from is that you guys inspire the youth to become more artists and become more creative, correct?
Yeah.
So I guess my last question, because we do have to sign it up now because of load shedding, which I really wish this country would fix load shedding. I'm just at this point, I'm just annoyed with it. I'm not even annoyed. I don't know what to say anymore. But
I hope so too.
Before I go on with my rant, what words do you have to inspire the next young artists in South Africa or Africa in general?
Rather, my address would be to the audience that, we are fast moving towards a period where now people are more conscientized about art, just the same way that, Europe is about art. And in Africa, for now, which is, it's good for now, but people are just collecting art for aesthetics now. But we're trying to move people towards an understanding of art as something with value, something that you can, collect, and it's an investment. So my advice would be, if there is more platforms and spaces where people can be educated about the importance of art and investing in it and what it can bring to you or to your children's children, then that would really make a difference in the whole conversation about art in Africa.
Well, thank you so much, Tabiso, for coming on. I'm so sorry we have to cut short. You could blame load shedding in our government for that. Like we do always. But again, thank you so much. And you actually really opened me up to, what it actually means to be an artist.
Yeah.
For a long time, I thought, and again, please do not get offended, it's just my way of thinking.
It's all right.
I thought artists would, because I've always seen people just paint a square, like a yellow square, and then sell it. So I thought a lot of them were so much. But you showed me that a majority of them actually really do care about communities and youth development. So again, thank you so much for coming on, and I hope you have a good evening and the really good week ahead.
All right, thank you. You can find us at Ellis House Art Building, or social media, Instagram, art_by_Tabiso Tagamela. Those are our main spaces. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that.
Cheers.
Okay, guys, we are going to be jumping into our next interview immediately, just because of a bit of time constraints due to load shedding. It has been a very, very busy day. Yes, yeah, sure. It's been a busy day for everyone. So guys, like I said, we are jumping straight into the next interview of this live stream. Again, like I always say, in a live stream, if you mess up, you mess up. You can't really correct it unless you do post-production after a while. And a little known thing, well, not really well-known thing for me, like that you guys would know, is I actually used to be a cook. I got the nickname in the office, the Naked Chef, because I used to cook really good meals, and I did it for a year. I never went to culinary school. I didn't like being called a chef because I didn't earn that title. But today I actually am sitting with a chef and someone who shares a similar passion with me with food. I guess I could say that. Her name is Mercedes Carlsa. So Mercedes, how are you doing? And just tell me a little bit about yourself and how you got into, I guess, the culinary industry.
Okay, so I'm doing really well, thank you. How I got into the culinary world, shall I say, it was not really my first choice, like I said. It happened. I had a job in like a little fast food place, and that's really how I got into it. I never thought that I'd end up where I am today. It's been a journey for sure. So but like I'm just a female in my 30s trying to make it in the industry because it's very difficult for women in the industry, and especially like women of color, because it's we're not taken serious in the industry. But I think the most important thing is that we just keep pushing. That's very important.
I mean, that is very important. I know when I was cooking over here, I'm not gonna lie, some days I did struggle a lot.
Yeah.
Sorry, they're just asking you to speak into the mic directly.
Oh, cool.
Oh, you can bring the mic more forward too if you want to.
Is that better?
Yeah, it should be. Just quickly speak for me.
Is that better?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay, cool.
I'm so sorry about that, guys. Anyways, like I was saying about it being mentally challenged. She is speaking into the mic. Sorry. I was speaking about cooking. So when I was cooking in the kitchen, it did take a bit of a mental toll on me, like a lot of stress and everything. And the one thing I want to ask you is, how does mental health actually affect the culinary industry, and have you seen it firsthand?
I have. I actually have an extremely demanding job. I manage about 6 kitchens. I have about a brigade of 100, probably 80 to 100 chefs. Mental health is real. We work long hours. We spend more time in the kitchen than we spend with our families. It takes a lot out of you. You can't, small things that are important to you, like birthday parties or just anything that's really important to you. Sometimes, it takes the back foot in your life because, work will always come first, especially if you're in the hospitality industry. So, I have seen it firsthand. I've seen chefs crack. I've seen chefs who never smoked, started smoking. I've seen chefs who just started drinking. I've seen a lot, honestly.
You've seen a whole lot. You've seen the whole world.
Yeah.
And one thing I want to know about, I never really got to incorporate this into my own when I was cooking over here, but I always wanted to know, how does culinary get involved with youth? Because I know there's like a lot of community programs out there to teach youth how to cook and how to do very basic cooking and very, I don't know what the right words to use. I'm just going to use extreme cooking.
Yeah.
How do you guys actually grow the community in the culinary industry?
So, for me personally, for my personal brand and what I do is I am involved with a lot of organizations, especially also chef schools, where trainees come in and I basically teach them the basic skills, because that's basically what you need. You need the basic skills to go into a place and sort of succeed, The theory side is not really something that it's not a lot of people's strong point, so practically I'm very good in just teaching people how to do the basics. So that's how I sort of get the young people involved, because I create this open platform for chef schools to contact me, and for them to send their students to me, and I train them up and to whatever they have to be. And then, like a lot of people that I've met, Yeah, so I try to get involved with a whole lot of organizations just to be able to sort of give back, shall I say.
I love giving back to community. Now, unemployment is a massive issue in South Africa. It's going up every year. So I would imagine you guys have a good system, I guess, to actually help with the unemployment issue. Can you just explain that a little bit?
So in terms of like, I mean, unemployment, it's quite a problem. But in terms of like with us or with me personally, and in my kitchens, if I can't employ you on a permanent basis, I try to bring you in as a sort of permanent casual type of worker where you can be there for like 4 days a week, you know, make some, like get a bit of cash and then sort of like still do what you want to do. That's if the person is keen on that. And that's specifically for young people, you know, because a lot of us don't really want to commit to something, but we want to make money. So that's what we do. Like that's what I try to do. In terms of all my kitchens, I bring in chefs who want to just sort of do it part-time. They get paid for that. We give them sort of like a stipend, you know, and then they can still carry on with their normal lives and do what they want.
So I just want to ask a question, and then I have a follow-up question to that.
Yeah.
How long have you been in the cooking industry?
I've been in the cooking industry for about 14 years now.
So 14 years is a long
Yeah.
time. And within those 14 years, how do you see your culinary career going, forward? And also, how do you, and can you also guess, like, since you've been in the 14th, can you give like an inspiring, how do you inspire those who want to join as well with your 14 years of experience in the field?
I am currently the first female of color. That's the executive group chef for a brand. I cooked for Oprah, me and my team.
You cooked for Oprah?
I cooked for Oprah, me and my team. That was like life-changing. She was amazing.
Quick one, just side one. Is she cool like everyone says, or she's very
so
chilled?
Awesome. Like she's amazing, honestly. She's such a lovely person. And I think what stood out on that day was the fact that she was like, "Oh my word, you're a female," and I was like, "Yes." And I think because I'm also about empowering women, especially women of color. That's the thing for me, you know. Like we're celebrating Black History Month, and for me, it's all about striving for excellence. So I try to motivate people by just growing them, allowing them to make mistakes. I like to be a mentor to people. That's basically my goal. Anyone who comes into my kitchen, I want to have that open communication with them. I don't want to be like, okay, cool, you can never approach me. I like to teach young chefs or the younger generation. I like to teach them things, and I feel like I was given a chance to change my life, and I want to be that for someone else.
Before we end, and thank you for that question, but this is my own personal question.
Okay.
Have you ever gone Gordon Ramsay on someone?
Every day of my life. Every day of my life. Actually, some of my chefs always say to me, like, "Chef, we don't understand how someone like you, who looks so chilled, screams like that." And I'm telling you, sometimes it gets like that. It's never personal, it's business.
I think that's just because even when I was in the kitchen and I helped someone help me, I don't know what, just something just like snapped to me. It's like it just.
I think people don't understand it's a high pressured environment, you know? And yeah.
Well, Mercedes, thank you so much for coming on. And, I'm glad we had this conversation. I can relate to you in a lot of different ways. And sorry, I just hit the mic. And I guess you've opened my mind up more to how culinary can help with the unemployment issue, help fight the unemployment issue and help actually inspire the youth of, today, tomorrow, and forever, pretty much. So thank you so much for coming on, and thank you guys so much for watching. I am going to be cutting these up, like I said, in the very first interview with Sydney Holt. Sorry, I forgot the surname. My mind is just all over the place. But anyways, these will be cut into segments. But if you're watching this one, thank you guys so much for watching. If you do like the video, leave a like, subscribe, and share, and follow us on all social media platforms. Thank you so much, Sydney.
Thank you.
I mean, Mercedes.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. It was great.
For anyone watching, thank you guys so much for watching the stream. If you guys want us to do this again, please let us know. And yeah, we will definitely do it. Thank you guys so much.